Hello, everyone, and hello, Betty. It is so good to finally meet you. I have heard so much about you from Christina, and so we're going to continue on with Share the Power and simply educating and sharing our knowledge, sharing our love, and empowering you to possibly do something different. And Betty, please let us know who you are and what you do.
Well, I am many things, but right now, if I were to answer that question succinctly, I would say I'm a registered nurse. I have a PhD. I've spent my life taking care of people. I am an Army veteran, 20 years in the United States Army Reserve as a nurse, which was a great adventure. I was one of the original critical care nurses. That's how old I am. And I loved it. Absolutely loved critical care. I did that for 20 years before I went into education. And I'm recently a widow in the past 2 years. I've become a widow. So yeah, that's been hard.
That is a journey of rediscovering yourself, becoming whole again, finding joy in life. It is definitely a journey, isn't it?
It is a rebirth.
Yes.
That's all I can say. You learn to become a different person because you've been a couple. I was married for over 30 years, and it's strange. So you learn to reinvent yourself.
Which is
It's been okay. The first year was rough. The second year, ups and downs, but it's getting better. And, I'm becoming who I am right now, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. It really
So
does.
I had started a company called the Minerva Educational and Wellness Treatment Center. A couple of years after we were married, I moved to a small town. I've been doing a lot of holistic practices. At the time, it's what they called it, holistic. So you had to remember this, like 30 some odd years ago, right? And the small town of the Poconos, the word out was Dr. Caruth's new wife was a witch. So we had poor Larry. He was like, "Don't do anything to harm the practice." I'm like, "I won't." So knowing that knowledge is power, and you, of course, know that. That's why we're doing these. That's what I did. I said, okay, I'm going to start teaching people about things like therapeutic touch and Reiki and, energy work. And actually, it worked out really, really well, really well. And a lot of people came to classes, did a lot of work with them. And I got my PhD. And at that time, I started working towards that. It's been a success. It has been a success. And then after Larry died, and while he was ill, I had to let go of a lot of things, including Minerva. So I'm in the process of rebuilding that. But also, I started a podcast with my girlfriends called Two Crones and a Microphone.
You are creative, Betty.
We've been doing that for about a year and having so much fun with it. I mean, that is just a wonderful thing that we're doing. We're reaching a lot of people. So I had studied with a Native American woman for, 40 years maybe, before I married Larry, actually. And a lot of her teachings are what we present in the podcast. And it has to do with healthy living, energy work, what you can do for yourself. I do believe in one of the podcasts, I did talk about the BioImmersion products because I love them so much. And they're pure, and so I don't feel like I'm, giving people advice to take something that is all chemicals or contaminated. And it's helped me so much that I have to pass it on. That's the right thing to do.
Thank you.
That's basically me plus extra.
Yes. So what were you working on? Like what kind of health conditions, challenges, or just little things that bugged you that you thought, okay, I need to find something for those?
For me, I have hypothyroidism. That's a challenge in itself because you're constantly balancing that medication. And energy, that little energy pill does help keep my, because towards the afternoon I start to get really draggy. Plus, I'm older now. Come on, I'm a crone. So,
You look fabulous, just so you
I'm,
know.
well, the insides are getting a little creaky. And I started to take the 7. I love that product. And it was Chrissy and Marcellus who recommended that. And I believe I started to take that when Larry was ill. My husband had health problems, but he also started to develop dementia. So it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. And so to hold myself together, I had to really fill myself with good things, not just eating, potato chips. Chocolate, of course, is a health food, so you can't say that was bad, but
Thank God. Yes.
God is right. But I had to really be careful with what I was doing because I couldn't get sick. If I got sick, who would take care of him?
Right.
So that is when I really discovered the products and I fell in love with them. I really did. So that I did start, I did have a private practice where I would see clients. And there were some clients that even though Larry was ill, I would still see them. I've been seeing them maybe for 20 years that I have them on the products also. It's been a good thing for me personally. Anything that's good for me, I like to pass on to other people. During COVID, the garlic was critical to take. I could not catch COVID because if I did, that definitely would have been the death of Larry. And I had to do everything I could to make sure that I stayed safe. The usual thing, the mask, the washing of the hands, try healthy eating, taking a whole bunch of garlic. But on the other hand, you didn't want to smell like a garlic bulb. And so your product, you don't smell like garlic. It's like magic. It's like that little magic pill. So if I found I was going, and we were always going to a doctor, let me tell you, constant doctor visits, right? So even after they let us out of the house and we were going to the hospital, we were going to the doctor's office, I'd make sure I double up on my garlic just so that I wouldn't catch anything. And I had Larry on it also. Neither one of us ever got COVID. So I think that a lot of it was just making sure we took the right things.
Wow, that is so amazing. So the number 7 keeps your energy up, the energy, especially in the afternoon, boosts you up. And then the garlic, of course, for all these infections. And there's so much research now that shows that garlic works actually against COVID and really preventative, and also when you do catch it, that it helps to speed up the process of healing. Some beautiful research. I love that about the garlic. And indeed, you don't really smell it. And I have some people that take so much of it with 6 of these capsules a day to get rid of Lyme or some other infectious disease, and they don't smell. And it's just, how is that possible? Because there are 5 cloves within each of the capsules of garlic. It's very potent. So that is magical. Betty, if I ask you, what does inspire you in life? As we chatted earlier on, and I was telling you that I am in love with BioImmersion. Sean actually nurtured it, and he is the one who has the background in zoology and biological sciences. I'm more of a social scientist, international relations and peace. That's my jam. But even though I'm in love with BioImmersion and the products are magical, I'm amazed. He, for so long, talked with doctors and their patients when they needed more information. So he was definitely on a different level than I was when I took over the company after he passed. So in the last year, I've learned so much about how magical these products are. And at the same time, my ocean where I love to swim is definitely the peace studies and research that I just started recently. What is your jam? Something that gets you up in the morning, that makes you spark with beautiful life force that is so easy to see that you have?
I think it's just the fact that I love to educate people. And I don't mean preach to them, I mean truly educate them so that they can understand. And one of the gifts that I have been granted is I can usually speak to someone at their level. And a lot of the people don't understand fancy terms. You know, like when I was nursing in the hospital, you would do patient education. And if they spoke to the doctor, they'd come in with all these terms and they'd be looking at them like they were talking, you know, a foreign language, which actually they were. A medical language can be a foreign language. And I'm fortunate in that I have the gift of being able to synthesize it down so it's easy to understand. And so I like getting out there. You know, recently I've been using tapping for a sleeplessness at night. You know how you get into bed and your brain goes ding ding ding, the rackaroo continues, right? Tapping works beautifully for that. And if you don't know anything about it, you can go to my website because I even put up just a small section on tapping to introduce people to it because it is so effective and you don't need anything, you know? So it's teaching people that there are so many tools out there. You know, yes, it's what you eat, what you put in your body. Okay. And that's where the bioimmersion comes in, obviously. You know, I'm faithfully taking it every single day. It helps me to have clarity of thinking. It helps me to maintain my energy level. And it just helps me continue on with my goal in life, which was to help people. You know, life is not easy. As a friend of mine would say, and Christine would love this, life is not a Hallmark movie. It is. When my mom was alive, oh my God, that's all she watched, you know? And the plots are always the same, but they always have a happy ending. So, but life isn't like that. You know, you got your ups, your downs, and you have to try and maintain a steady level through all of that. And so you have to bring together the body, the mind, and the spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yes.
can teach people to do that. I have accomplished my mission on this earth.
Wow. I love, love, love your mission, and it's beautiful. You are beautiful.
Thank you,
And
Lord.
I
Thank you.
want to thank you so much for your time and your sharing. This is empowering others for sure to find solution, to maintain that beautiful path that acknowledges life's ups and downs, and at the same time also acknowledges the fact that we do have that inner strength. Your beautiful dog.
That's my emotion. She's become my emotional support dog.
They need to participate too. Thank you, Betty, so, so much. And everyone, we will see you in our next interview.